May I tell you about Jacqueline? Jacqueline is an Uber driver down in Florida. And Jacqueline is from a wonderful area, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And she relocated to Fort Myers, Florida. And last year, while in Florida, she had a bookkeeping business, a thriving bookkeeping business. And unfortunately, that business was destroyed, both her home and the business, due to a hurricane. And that's not the worst of the story, because you would think, okay, you can recover. Perhaps you can just have the insurance company pay for it. She did pay for insurance to have the property restored, property and casualty insurance. And unfortunately, the insurance company filed bankruptcy, and now they're no longer liable for her home and her business. So she's now become an Uber driver. And this sort of thing happens to many people. There seems to be some challenge going on in the state of Florida right now with insurance companies and being dishonest. But I will tell you, not every insurance company is created equally. And the life insurance companies are very strong, very powerful, and have been around for hundreds of years. And they are not going to just go defunct and file bankruptcy, especially not the big ones. Mass Mutual, some of the large ones, Guardian, those guys, they've been around a long time. National Life has been paying out policies since during the Depression. I gotta stop because I can hear her. But you know, Jacqueline's story is a familiar one, and it actually could happen to anyone. She did everything right. She had the business, she had it insured like you're supposed to, but she didn't have a backup plan for the insurance. And one of the greatest things you can do for your business, one is have liability, one to have key man insurance, one to have life insurance. You have to have something to tap into in the event of some unforeseen emergency or health scare or crisis. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Jacqueline, a great person. It could happen to anybody. And then natural disasters, they're in the state of Florida, they're going to happen. Flooding, hurricanes, all of those challenges. So you really have to protect yourself, and you have to ensure that your business continues uninterrupted, or if it is interrupted, you can get it rebuilt, reestablished very quickly. I do believe she said she has somebody working for her on her behalf now, but this is a familiar problem and is the difference between poverty and wealth. The more you can protect your assets, the better you protect your assets, it will prevent you from going into poverty. So, how do you do that? First things first, when you first set up the business, whatever funds you're using to establish your business, ideally put it in a life insurance policy first, number one, because you can tap into that later. You can borrow from it, and it doesn't require any sort of qualifying. You just ask for the money and you get it. It is extremely safe, it grows, and you will not lose the money. The other thing is they are required legally to have the money in a reserve account. The state requires it, the federal government requires it. They have to do that. So their money is always in a safe place. And when you borrow from them, it's also coming from a safe place, from the insurance company's account. Now, when you're just relying strictly on property and casualty, you're going to have a tough time. Some of the big ones you see doing commercials, the Progressives and Allstate, many of them do everything possible not to pay those claims. And they have a reputation for not paying their claims and not wanting to pay their claims. So you're going to have a tough time if you just rely upon that. But if you take your money and put it somewhere safe, somewhere where it cannot be lost, cannot be taken, cannot be accessed by the federal government, then you are going to be in a better position. And you will not have the same challenge Jacqueline had. She's also struggling to get back to Chattanooga, Tennessee from Florida. So she mentioned having like 2 acres of land and a beautiful property and paid $800 a month. Now she's in Florida, living in a tiny, tiny place for over $2,100 a month. And those things affect your cash flow. So when your cash flow is affected in such a significant way, it's going to be very difficult to maintain your standard of living. It's also going to be very difficult to put money away and have savings. So the first thing you want to do is you want to actually put the money aside first and then pay your bills. I was actually just in a 7-Eleven a little while ago, and a gal was talking about how her car was repossessed, or it's about to be repossessed, charged off and everything else. She still owes $20,000 on that, even despite the fact it's getting repossessed. And a lot of times, if you just take the money and put it somewhere safe first, you have a better chance of withstanding these economic challenges that you have no idea are coming. Nobody knew the pandemic was going to come. Nobody knew that real estate was going to be having the situation it's having. So you have to have something in place that protects you against all economic conditions. One of the companies I work with, National Life, they have been paying out insurance policies during the Depression, during recessions. It doesn't matter what, during World War I, World War II, it doesn't matter what's happening. That money is strong, it's protected, and it's very, very safe. And you need to have your money somewhere safe. When you put it in a CD, when you put it in your 401k and things like that, that is not necessarily safe, because if it's, depending on where it's being placed to hold, if it's being held in a mutual fund, you've got fees and you've got other challenges associated with that. But I want you all to be able to help yourselves in the same way I wish Jacqueline could have helped herself, is having that money and having your resources in an extremely safe vehicle tool. And I believe she's a little bit older. She probably could have had an annuity as well. And had she put in an annuity, she would never run out of money. But if she accessed it before age 59 and a half, she'd just have a little bit of a penalty. So there are some things you can do. You want to make sure you're safe. If you're going to establish a business, put it the money. Whatever startup funds you're getting, venture capital, whatever it is, put it in life insurance first, and then pay your bills, pay for your vehicles, pay for your buildings, and then it won't matter what happens. In addition, obviously, if you can get some sort of insurance as well, the property and casualty, where you protect your building, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, get those as well. And eventually you'll hopefully get the money back. It might take a little while, but definitely have money in something that you can access within a couple days. Like it's considered liquid. Life insurance is liquid, cash is considered liquid. There's certain stocks actually that are considered liquid as well. So hats off to Jacqueline for building that business, and for all of you who are out there also fighting for it and building your businesses. Just make sure you put the right protections in place prior to spending money and prior to really getting your business off the ground. The insurance is going to be a critical piece of your cash flow and of you having an ongoing business. Have an amazing day. Sonia Gallion-Cominica here, SoniaGallionCominica.com, and the author of 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent, where we talk about all things single parents. And guess what? Jacqueline is also a single mama. So it's even harder for her to have this situation happen where she lost her business, lost her home, and has a child in the process. But you know, on a positive front, her daughter's going to be going to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge, Massachusetts, a fantastic school. So in spite of all the negativity, something great did come from that. So wishing you all a wonderful holiday, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.